Hi, my name is Andrea Wells, currently Chief Cultural Officer at the National Cultural Foundation, and in that role I lead the production of NIFCA annually. My first experience at NIFCA was as a schoolgirl. I was a student at the Foundation Girls School, and under the tutelage of Ruby St. John, who was our English literature teacher at the time, we would have done a spoken word entry of a piece by Kamau Brathwaite. It was the first time I'd ever been on stage in a formal theater setting with curtains being drawn and open, lights up and down. It was exciting, but a little overawing at first. But we were very happy. We came through, and I think we won a distinction that year for the presentation by the group. Having your work selected as a student in art also, or craft at school, being selected to submit on behalf of the school was a big honor. But I think it was the experience on stage that stayed with me most. I joined the NCF then in 1989 as a visual arts officer, and my very first assignment was NIFCA. It was interesting seeing how the festival was structured and rolled out from the inside. I would have spent the first month just trying to build participation in NIFCA visual arts, especially craft, because at that time I was handed a huge file stacked high with entries, and there were very few of them that were craft. So I remember walking around from shop to shop at Pelican Village and getting some of the persons working there to sign up. Carl Bernardine would say that that was the reason why she ever took part in NIFCA. She had never done it, and we met for the first time. It was October 1989, and I convinced her to enter NIFCA, and she's pretty much been entering ever since. In 1990, I would have been given the responsibility of running the competition for the selection of a national dress of Barbados. The first year, the competition invited persons to submit their designs for the national dress female. And that competition was very well supported by a lot of costume designers, even artists who were not necessarily costume designers, but who were intrigued by the idea of a national dress. Other islands had a national dress that had evolved and had, I would say, kept up from their traditions. But Barbados, we didn't have any. So we had a competition, and that first year for the national dress female, the person who won was Carl Bernardine. And she would have drawn very much on a lot of our history and heritage tradition, free colored women and the entrepreneurial and hawker class. The next year, we noted that we needed a costume also for the male. And again, we got a number of entries from various designers. And that year, another artist actually won. That was Omwali Stewart, with his design for the male costume, which was drawn from a lot of our military or historic military traditions, the Zouave Guard, the Coast Guard, etc. 1992 then, the costumes would have been officially presented to the public for the first time at the opening of NIFCA. So I was quite pleased as a young officer to have been part of something that I consider to be quite historic. And over the years, I think I've continued to play a role in making people aware of the importance of the costume. From coordinating NIFCA visual arts, once I was appointed Chief Cultural Officer, I would have taken on the responsibility then of the senior producer for the entire festival, which would have involved me more in the higher level of administration for the broader festival. Having started out, I would say, in the festival as a schoolgirl on the stage, and then an officer of the visual arts, and then an officer with oversight for all of the arts, I think I have three very distinct but complementary perspectives on why the festival is so important. I think, unlike Crop Over, the focus is not largely commercial. The focus is very much human development and national development. And NIFCA, unlike Crop Over, every competition has a component for feedback and interaction, where persons who are entering, and the vast majority are amateurs, non-professional students or teachers representing groups of students, That feedback is so important. And that, for some participants, have told me that has been the most valuable part of NIFCA for them, because it was the memory of that interaction, the validation of the work that they do, and the pushing them to do better, and showing them things about their own creativity that, as a person who's creating, often you can't see because you're so close to it. For many artists, years after, they say it is that validation and that critique that has been the longest benefit to them coming out of the festival. So though the festival has grown and changed quite a bit over the years, I think that is a crux of what makes NIFCA so important. The fact that it really is a platform for human and national development.